I don't understand. Like, you go to the airport, right? You go through
Hmm.
security, and you're in like this, like, you're in the terminal. It's all the security, and then you get on the airplane. You check your stuff again. Like they check who you are.
Hmm.
Super secure. And then you get to wherever you're going, and then they're just like, "Oh yeah, baggage claim. It's just on the curb." Like they just dump 100 bags out. Everyone just takes whatever they want. Like
Yeah.
there's no security at all. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even understand how that's a thing, but every country I've been to, it's the same thing. It's like
Mm-hmm.
it's not just like the US or anything. They
Yeah.
really just let all the bags out, and it's just like a trust system, right? So yeah, up to you to recognize your own bag. If somebody else grabs it before you get there, it's like not our problem.
Like anyone could just take the bus to the airport, go to the arrivals terminal, and stand at the front of the conveyor belt, take 2 bags, go home. Like
Yep.
there's
Nobody would question it. I mean,
absolutely nothing weird about it,
just you just don't take a shower. You look like you're tired, so
right?
you just show up, and everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it's just me, I guess." But honestly, I don't understand how that's a thing. I mean,
They must just not care. Like you've
maybe that
arrived, you're not their customer anymore.
yeah, maybe that's like on the ticket. It's like, oh, we're not responsible if you lose your bag, or I mean, it's not.
Yeah.
We're responsible to get it here. After that, it's like, well, we cannot afford to make any changes to the way that it works, so we're dropping it out into this conveyor belt. It's up to you to get it. And like sometimes you see too, it's like it's so easy to like steal a bag if you think
Mm-hmm.
about it. But then there's also the times where you're at the airport waiting for your bag, and there's this one bag going around for like 7, 8 laps, and
Right.
just nobody wants it. It's like forget that bag, nobody cares. And then they bring in the new batch, and it's like okay, people start picking theirs. So it's like it's kind of like you get both sides. Maybe people don't really care that much, but I was just telling you like the vocalist of Trico, I think is how you pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
That they just arrived at LAX. They took a picture, saying, "Oh, we arrived." They went through security, and there's like the classic LAX picture, which is "Welcome
Yeah.
to the U.S." or something.
Yep.
And then they posted a picture like 10 minutes later saying, "My pedal board got stolen." So
It's
I'm like, well,
crazy.
I mean, maybe if it got stolen on the carousel, then well, that really sucks. If they had it and then they somehow lost it or it was stolen, then people are dicks, man. People suck. But
They're a Japanese band, right?
yeah, Japanese band.
I mean, it could
So,
be like not to blame the victim at all. Like it's retarded. Their stuff was stolen, but like since they're from Japan, maybe they weren't watching it so much because
yeah,
they
maybe
don't
they were
expect
just
people.
trusting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
too
I can see
trusting.
that. I can see that. But it's not their first. If it was their first time in the U.S. or first time
Mm.
overseas, I would understand more. But it's like maybe someone actually had like malice and legit like stole something. Because when the
Yeah,
bands show up, they are always carrying like their guitars and shit, right? So you can tell right away that it's a band.
yeah.
You see people walking around with like two guitars, like two people walking around together with two guitars. You can kind of see like, okay, this is a band, and there's bound to be some valuables on their stuff. So that
Sometimes
really sucks.
sometimes bands will arrive and they'll have like 15, obviously music cases.
Yeah, yeah. I love the ones that are like the black and white square cases that nobody else uses, just
Mm-hmm.
bands.
Yeah,
They have that. I think they have like the egg crate inside, so it makes it like safer for the instrument or something. But yeah, it's like they show up with like 6 of that thing, and you're like, oh, okay, well this is obviously a band.
mm-hmm.
So it's possible that they just showed up and then everybody knows, oh, okay, there's money on these things, and then
Yeah.
they took one. Yeah, very unfortunate, but they ended up she ended up buying all of them. Then like, they had a show the next day. That's what I was like so upset because it's like
Mm.
they got their stuff stolen and then they had to play in Vegas the next day. So they had to drive to Vegas from LA
Mm.
and like I have to buy all the pedals and they have to put them on a specific setting to get their sound that they like. So It was kind of messed up, honest. But
Yeah, it's too bad that people like. I don't know. Why can't people just not steal stuff? It's not that
Yeah.
hard. You just don't do it. Like, come on.
yeah, I've been watching this guy that I sent you the video about. This Nobita guy in YouTube, and he just doesn't give a shit about what you think of him.
Yeah.
He just gives out his opinion like straight up how it is. So I've been liking that a lot, and he does stop touching some topics about that, respect or regarding immigrants and foreign people that have different cultures too, like talking about the whole. What were we talking about?
Like,
Stealing,
they're
I
just
suppose.
stealing stuff.
Yeah, so he's saying like too many immigrants could be bad for Japan because it's different, it's different. So I don't know how that's relevant to stealing, but
Does he make videos in Japanese or only English?
well, he uses both, right? Because he talks to Japanese people in Japanese,
Yeah.
but he started his channel to like encourage foreigners to talk to Japanese women, I think, or Japanese or foreign women to talk to Japanese men. But that's why he says the most important thing is for you to know actual Japanese. People don't really care that much about your looks or your foreignness, like how white, black, Asian you might be, but mostly they care about that you can communicate, because that otherwise how can you even get to know each other if you don't talk? So
Yeah.
that's why he teaches. He's a teacher, so he teaches English, and his English is pretty good. As long as you can be understood, I think you qualify as pretty good.
Yeah.
Even if the pronunciation is not as good or native, as long as you can get your point across, you're good. I think it counts as pretty good.
Right. I was wondering if he because he's like super honest, right? Like brutally honest.
Yeah.
And that's like the opposite of the typical Japanese way. And so I was wondering if he does his videos in English, because then he won't like catch any flack from people in Japan who probably don't know what he's talking about.
Well, when he's being honest like that, he's speaking in English, but he mostly, or he's saying like he's just honest because he's not using the Japanese way of speaking, which is the tatemae, I think he says. So tatemae is like you don't want to cause conflict onto other people. So when he's talking on his videos, he doesn't care about offending you, as he would like in person. If he was speaking to another Japanese person, he would just use tatemae in that scenario. But in his videos, he doesn't use it, because then it would be pointless for you to watch it if he's trying not to offend anyone, and it's like, well, and you're talking about the kind of topics that he's talking about, then it's pretty pointless to try not to, or talking about something like immigration and then sugarcoating everything. It's like, okay, what's the point then?
Just be a bunch of videos with nothing but compliments.
Exactly. Or
people.
like, yeah, sure, we want more immigration, but it has to be regulated. It's like, okay, yeah, that didn't help at all. I already knew that's obvious. So he would never, he would have never reached the point.
It's probably a lot easier to do that through something like YouTube. Like, I don't know, if you had like a in-person discussion group and you tried to be brutally honest, it probably wouldn't work so well.
I mean, that's the thing too. He has some videos. He's like he sits down with actual people in Japan, right? So there's like a long table, and it's him and like 4 people sitting, and he's like, okay, we're gonna talk about, I don't know, he says like abortion, I think. So it's like they can talk about whether they agree or not, but it's like in person you're obviously more inclined to not be confrontational, because you don't want to be an asshole, basically. Right. You don't want to offend someone that might disagree with you, but it's also like if you're there for the purpose of discussing something, then you shouldn't hold back. If that's if there's something that you really feel passionate about, or you want to talk, you're supposed to get more information on the other side, right? If you agree with it, then you give your points, and then the other person says their points, and then you have to think about your stance when you have information from the other side, right? Or you can, or it's simply, or it can be a matter of different opinion. It's like the facts are all laid out, and you can still agree or disagree. That not, I mean, as long as you have like your personal reasons, you know, it's like, oh well, for you it's a bad thing to have an abortion. For the other person, it's like, okay, even though I see all the stuff that we've talked about, I still think it's not good, or you know. So you can do that, but yeah, if you're in person, some of the videos that he does, he said in one of his videos that he was in a Starbucks with one of his friends, and then two black guys, I think, came in and started like screaming at him, like physically being aggressive towards him. So he was like, I mean, don't come at me with that bullshit, basically. You know, if you disagree with what I have to say, you can send me an email, leave a comment, but don't come out. I mean, don't come out in person, try to like threaten me.
Yeah.
I mean, he wasn't saying anything that bad. He was just giving his unfiltered opinion without being. I mean, I guess you can say he can be controversial. I mean, obviously controversial, but
yeah,
it's like if he's telling that everything that you believe in is bullshit, you might be, you know, upset and inclined to be like, dude, you're a total idiot, or like you don't know what you're talking about, right? If everything that you believe in, he's calling it out and saying it's different or it's not true, like the victim mentality he talks about in a lot of his videos. But he seems to be, I don't know how exactly maybe he like got interested because when he was teaching Japanese, he gets a lot of foreign students. So maybe he got inspired by that to do so much research, or just feels passionate about the social issues of the United States. Because I just didn't, when I was in Peru, don't know anything about what's happening in the U.S. Don't care. Not.
Yeah, he seems like weirdly well informed. Like, I'm trying to remember now what he knew about, like the number or the percentage of like Mexican immigrants in the U.S. And I'm like, I don't even know what that is. Like,
yeah, but I mean,
why
it's
would
also.
I mean, maybe he could look it up, but why would he even think to talk about it in the first place? You know?
Yeah, I mean, I think it has to be because of the foreigners that are his students. You know that. I'm sure, you know, well, he gets, you know, a couple of black students, so he talks with them, and maybe he was saying like they were telling him, like, you know, that they not hate white people, but something about white privilege and all that. So he's like, wait a second. So he does some research about that, then he makes his videos, right?
Yeah.
So that's something like how it started. But yeah, definitely. But it's like, you know, it's always when you pick your statistics, it's like you can pick a survey that, or like when they talk about the wage gap between men and women, it's like they always have the same statistic that it's just all the women and all the men, all the women make X amount less. Yeah. And really, if you think about it, there's a lot of jobs that women just don't want to do, and they won't do it. So it's like men make more because they do a lot of those type of jobs. They live less. So it's not just
there's a lot of
all
factors.
Of them. Yeah, there's a lot of factors, exactly. So
it's like and some of it is like society reinforced. Like if a guy, right, you have like a husband and wife, right? And if the guy goes to work like all the time and he's working on the weekend and stuff, then he's seen as being like a good provider. Like, and he's like, when he does that, he's earning a lot of money, but he's giving up on like seeing his family. Right. And that's like a good thing in society's mind. And then people are like, why do men get paid more? And it's like, well, like, you're convincing everybody that it's a good thing to work as much as you can for your family. And then
they're complaining that...
Then they're complaining that they made too much money.
And I mean, if there's, like you said, you know, there's too many factors. It's like when a couple decides to have children, right? Yeah. Who is more say a more percentage of the time more inclined to take care of the children.
Yeah.
Probably women. So therefore they sacrifice working so they make less. There's way too many factors to just say women overall make less than men. It's like you have to take more stuff into consideration. Is it in the same field? Okay. Is it in the same age bracket? Is it like, management position versus non-management? It's like, okay, if you gotta go more specific. You gotta go deeper down to actually give out a fair comparison on their salaries. It's like,
I heard this.
You can't expect,
this one argument that was like really like, so companies at the end of the day, they're all about profit, right? The company is just there to make money. They're not there to be anyone's friend or anything.
Right.
And if women across the board really got paid like 75% of what men get paid, then companies would only hire women because like
it'd just be cheaper. That's
they
it.
don't give a shit about the guys. Like if it was actually 25% cheaper for the same work for the same job to hire women, they would hire women. Like
yeah, exactly.
It's
and it would be no question about it. It would be stupid. Imagine saving 25% of a lot of money every year just by hiring women. That would be ridiculous.
A lot of companies don't like manufacture things. Like their employees are most of their expenses. And if they could cut 25% off of that, they would be doing it.
100%. There's no way that it would. And you're absolutely right. There would be no discussion on it. It's just be the norm. Everybody would just be like that, But you also have when sometimes they say like, women apply to a job, but there's also men that it's like, it's an open position and both genders are applying, right? Men and women. It's like when you're the interviewer, would you hire someone just because they're a woman, or would you just hire the best person for the position, regardless of what their sex was, right? So that's why it's like sometimes the whole discrimination or inequality and stuff like that. There's so many different factors that go into it. It's just so hard to generalize.
Yep.
But people really are sensitive about topics like that because they feel like they are, I don't know, say, if someone was a feminist or for equal rights, which, I am. I would love to have, I would love for everyone to be the same.
Right.
But it's like people don't often change their views when they're confronted by opposite facts that are criticizing what they believe in. It's like it would be easier if you could have a discussion with someone, right?
Yep.
And they believe in X, you believe in Y. You talk, and then you're like, oh wow, you know what? That's a fair point. I think you're right. Let me just change my view. And it's like that rarely ever happens.
Almost like I saw some research on, because it's like even worse online because people all like just get in their own bubble. And I was reading this one research they did where reading things online that disagree with your opinion actually makes you believe your original opinion stronger. So like seeing statistics against your first opinion just makes you believe your first impression even harder.
Oh, okay. When you're reading like the opposite of what you believe in, it just seems sillier. It just reinforces your beliefs.
Yeah, it just makes you believe your original thing even harder. So it's like people are like, mankind is like thoroughly screwed up. Like
we've gone too far.
Not only can we not change our views, but when someone disagrees, it just makes us even more stubborn.
Yeah. Yeah, but I'm happy to say that I think that I can change any view that I have right now if I was presented with evidence of the opposite. Like if I said, well, I don't think, like what we just discussed, right? Well, I don't think the wage gap is a thing between men. Just like that statistic gets used way too often by it's just like what you call it? It's just like a catchphrase. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
you know, women make 75% or 25% less than men. It's just everybody throws that around. But if someone like sat down and said, well, you know what, here's some article or here's some statistics between, I don't know, women CEOs and men CEOs, you know, similar companies or management positions and whatnot, I'll be like, okay, you know what, I believe that, but I still don't believe the bogus catchphrase thing. But I'll be willing to change my view on anything that I believe in, I think.
If you are presented with the right evidence.
Yeah, with like sufficient evidence. I mean,
What if
it's
someone
kinda like-
just gave you a lot of money? Like, how much money would someone have to give you to change your view?
I mean, for a purpose? Like, is there a purpose here, or?
I don't know. I mean, this some insane billionaire, right? Just wants to change your mind.
Or
How much money do you think he would have to give you for? So say it's the wage gap thing, right? And you said
Right.
that you would like people to be equal, but this guy's insane and he wants women to not work in, I don't know, the police force.
Right.
How much would he have to pay you so that you would like go out there and campaign,
be an advocate
be an
against it?
advocate against?
You mean so? I would
equality.
basically be a politician in the United
Right?
States.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Now,
see.
if you were a politician in the United States, what would your pay be?
Yeah, exactly. How much would I need to get to receive to lobby against something? I see.
Yeah.
You know, I think the politicians are relatively cheap.
Yeah, I was just gonna say they're
It's like-
surprisingly cheap.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, this multi-billion-dollar company, yeah, is just gonna pay you like $12K a year just for you to say that global
Yeah.
what is it? Shit, global warming is just not a thing. Here's
Yeah.
$12,000 for a year.
It kind of makes you wonder. Like, it's so cheap. It's like, should I
Yeah.
be hiring politicians? Like,
it really makes no sense how cheap it is for you to lobby, like to get a vote
yeah.
from a politician. It's just so absurd how cheap it can be. It
For
can
the-
be. I mean,
For the
there's
cost of my ridiculous car repair, I could have like 3 votes in Washington. Like,
Yeah. it just makes no. Honestly, it's really shocking. But I would say, you know, if a guy came out and said you have to be the face of this, and that was something that I disagreed with,
Yeah.
I think it would have to be in the tens of the thousands. I think.
Tens of thousands.
Like if especially if it's gonna involve like my face being out on the internet, well, that would be
Yeah, you're gonna be
That's
on
risky.
billboards, on TV,
saying like, yeah,
saying
women
like
women are not good enough for the police
women
force.
are not good enough for the police force.
That'll have to be a couple, like 100,000s, I think.
Yeah, I mean
That would be-
it's gonna screw up your life. Like,
Yeah, exactly. it's gonna dirty my name forever, right?
Right.
So, if I can get a couple 100,000 and just like do that thing and then move somewhere else, I think I'll take that.
You'd have to. I mean, at some point, there's no way you could not do it, right? Like, say he's gonna ruin your name, and you're gonna be like, everyone's gonna hate you, but he gives you $1 million. Like, that $1 million could probably save like 1,000 lives in Africa or something, you know?
Yeah.
So, like, at some point, you would have like a moral obligation to do it because, like, he's off. It's like people's lives or your reputation.
Exactly.
So much.
Like,
So much.
think
so.
about how much good you can do
Think of
with
how
that
much,
money.
right? I mean, the chances are you won't, but you could. Like,
Hey, I would. I always thought about it. Think about how much you could change around you with, like, if you won, just say $10 million, right? Like, my first thing would be like, I'll buy my house, right? I'll pay my house, buy a new car, basically.
Yeah.
Give some money to basically everyone I know. That's like my third thing down the list. It's like, I don't need 10 million bucks. What the fuck am I gonna do with that? That's like so much money. Just give it away to fucking everybody I know. It's like, yeah, I'll send you some money. Obviously, everybody. I don't need $10 million. See, $1 million is like 20 years of my job.
Mm-hmm.
Like, how fucking stupid is that?
So it's like 200 years. No. Did I
Yeah,
do that
10
math
million is
right?
like 200 years of my life that
Yeah.
I mean, there's no need for that amount of money at any point in anyone's life, I think.
It would
I
be
mean,
interesting to see if your opinion would change when you had it, though, because like
it probably would
people
because
reset. Like it's kind of depressing how fast you reset. Like your life improves, right? And then like 3 days later, you're used to it, and that's
yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
normal
yeah.
now. And
See,
like
but
you'd be
but the
like,
thing
God
is like
damn it, when am I gonna get $100 million?
I mean, that would be so ridiculous, dude. Think about it. It's like so if I won $10 million out of nowhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's say Uncle Sam takes half, right?
Yep.
So I only have 5 mil.
Yep.
My house is like paying for my whole house,
Mhm.
which I was gonna do in 30 years of my life. Think about that.
Yeah.
Paying my entire house would be like just like 200K, I think.
Yep. Be like a little
So
fraction of it.
it's like nothing. So if you win 5 million and you
Mhm.
try to go and buy like LeBron James's house,
Yeah.
that's the problem. You don't need a 10 bedroom house.
Yeah.
I just need. I would pay off this house, let my parents live in it. I moved to buy one apartment in LA,
Mm-hmm.
close to LAX, or like whatever all the bands play, basically. Just buy an apartment there. I don't need a fucking 6 bedroom house. Like what the hell? I just buy that. Buy a brand new car or a used car, but a good car.
Yeah.
I don't need a fucking Lambo. Like that's stupid.
Lambos,
You don't need that.
Lambos and stuff like are
Imagine
too much.
how much it would be to repair a Lambo. Like if you
That's
get a
ridiculous.
scratch on the paint, or you
The problem is,
someone
like,
hits you.
You can't even drive it anywhere because everywhere you go, everyone's just staring at you. And
Yeah.
now you're like
I
a
mean,
giant target because
that's
nobody has a Lambo who's poor. So
that's half of the thing why people would do it, though. It's like,
yeah.
look at me, I have a Lambo. It's like, okay,
It's not the
fine.
good kind of attention, though. I mean, maybe there's a little bit, but most of it would be like, oh shit, someone's going to key my Lambo. Or like,
Yeah, yeah,
someone's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
bump
yeah.
into my Lambo. Or I got out of the Lambo and now someone's asking me for money. Like,
Or someone's gonna back into me, and pretend, or make it look like I rear-ended them.
Right.
That would be a constant worry in your head, right?
people,
If you
like,
were-
it's like those Russian dash cams. Like, people
Yeah,
just
yeah, yeah,
throw themselves in front of your Lambo, like, trying
Yeah.
to get the insurance payout.
Exactly. That would be like a constant threat. It just makes no sense, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're like a billionaire, all right, whatever, because that's a Lambo would be a fraction of whatever the hell you're worth. So
Yeah.
you can afford to be on the constant like threat of that. Like you go from point A to point B in your Lambo, then you go from point B back to your house and you store your Lambo. That's it. Like it wouldn't be like let me commute every day on my fucking Lambo, right? Nobody would do that.
Like,
So
if I had so much money I was buying Lambos, I'd probably have enough money. I'd have like a private road, and like
yeah,
I just drive
build a
my
toll road.
Lambo on my own private road area.
Exactly.
And
Like
then,
Oprah.
yeah.
Build a special road to your house and nobody else can use it.
Yeah, and then I can drive whatever car I want. It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean that would be the solution to everything, I think. I mean, but then you would have so many private roads. We need that Elon Musk underground shit ASAP.
Yeah, private tunnels.
Yeah. But honestly, dude, like there is really no reason. I mean, I wouldn't spend. I mean, if I had 5 million bucks,
Hmm.
I would definitely spend them in my lifetime because I'd leave enough for any younger people in your family that you might want to support, right?
Yeah.
But how much are they gonna fucking need? Like, education is what, 30K a year?
Yeah.
Like, you leave 150K. You have the rest. It's like
Yeah.
you don't, your whole family doesn't have to live off of your fucking earnings for the rest of their generations. Like, just give them something, or have them have less of a worry when they're growing up, right? So you
Yeah.
put some money aside for that, for the future, quote unquote, for the future generation, right? Your kids. But I'm a single person. I don't give a shit. I'll go out and blow it all in
most
however many years I have left.
most people go broke after they win the lottery like shockingly fast.
I honestly, I really am shocked about that. Like, if you have no money and you just win the lottery,
Yeah.
how? I mean, where do you go wrong? Do they have just too many family members or neighbors that want the money? I don't understand.
It's crazy. Like people will win like $100 million and be broke in like 3 years.
Seriously,
It's like,
that
what are
makes
you
no
doing?
sense. Like, did you? I mean, that's what where they go wrong though. When they buy the big ass houses and the expensive cars, and then they don't have any money to back it up. It's like, or somehow I always see like these people that are millionaires, right? They're not billionaires because
Mhm.
if you're a billionaire, I don't think you can go bankrupt. Like, I mean,
That's
unless you
not
have all your
allowed.
money in stocks,
Like,
right? Like,
I think there's a law or something. It says once you pass $1 billion, you're set.
I mean, there's no reason you should go
Yeah.
broke if you have if you have $1,000 million. Like, that's fucking retarded. So, but I think these people, I always see like someone has X amount of $1 million, and then they have to like sell their house.
Mm.
It's like, what? Or like they default on their house. It's like, did you not pay cash? Like, did you did you finance it? Or, like, what were you doing? Were you spending like a month? Like, were you paying interest on it? Like, what the fuck? If you have-
happens
you have
so
millions
much
of
with
dollars,
like
right?
sports players because like
See, but I've seen the documentary on the sports players.
yeah.
Now, that I think has to do with the fact that they don't want to be less than everyone else in their group. So when your entire group of friends are millionaires,
Yeah.
then it becomes like a competition, right?
Yeah.
Always trying to show off, and you have to spend money on that. It's like, you go to a club after a win. Say, your team wins.
Yep.
Suddenly you're out $50K for one night.
Mm.
Like, what? I mean, it's like, I don't really know how the fuck these guys are partying,
Yeah.
because when we party, the
How-
bill doesn't even go to $200. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are these guys doing?
How would you even spend $50,000 in one night?
I mean, unless they're paying for every single person in the club, and they say, like, they announce it prior. It's like, yeah, I'm gonna pay for everything you guys do tonight.
So
And then-
everyone goes crazy.
Exactly.
right?
Everyone just getting drinks, just like, yeah, let me get a bottle of whatever, and they just
Yeah.
smash it on the ground because they can. Like,
Yeah.
how do you even spend $50,000 in one night of drinking with like your homies?
It's hard to imagine.
How does that even happen, dude? I mean, do people not get full? Like, do they
Right.
purposely go to the bathroom? Like, oh, let me make some more room.
Like
For more
try
drinking?
to imagine, like forget partying and drinking. Try to imagine spending $50,000 in one evening, like eating food.
Yeah,
Like,
how
would you
is
even
possible?
do it? I mean, sure, drinks are expensive, but like you still have to drink them. Like
Yeah, exactly. There's only so much space, right?
right.
It really is hard to believe how fast people are spending money when they're millionaires, right? I mean, I can't even comprehend how would you burn through that money so fast without like, I mean, and all these people, it's like, I don't like jewelry, I don't like accessories, maybe a nice watch. Like, if I had money, I would buy a nice watch, right? Maybe a Rolex,
Yeah.
sure, okay, fine. But these guys are buying like they have like a jewelry case at home. Like, what the fuck? I mean, if they
crazy
like
thing
jewelry,
is,
cool,
like,
but it's like,
Yeah.
$100K, $500,000 for a necklace. Like, what are you doing, bro?
And the crazy
That's
thing is,
ridiculous.
like, it's not even just spending the money. Like, when you have all that money, you can invest it, and like if you can get really easily like 4% per year back.
Uh-huh.
So if you have $100 million, you can get $4 million a year just doing jack shit. Like,
Just pay somebody else to monitor
you
something.
don't even have, and that's not even paying. That's just like super basic stuff. So like, not only are they spending all their money, but they're spending it faster than like it can make money for them. It's
You're
just-
right,
It's
right.
unbelievable.
It really makes no sense. Like, how it's like, I know that people are as more times goes by, right? People are being more responsible with that in like sports
Yeah.
now, because back in the 90s you can be like, well, nobody cares how they spend their money.
Hmm.
Like if they're an athlete, I mean, you should know you're not. I mean, only like super legends play until they're like 40.
Right.
It's like you should know your career is probably gonna end when you're 30, right? So they go in 18. You know you have 12 years of your life to make the money,
Yeah.
and then their first year, like as rookies, the players that are good, at least for basketball, right? Football is different because football is more like they actively try to injure you. They
Yeah.
actively are trying to basically kill you if they
Every
could.
play.
Every play is like, how can I stop this guy from taking my ball, even if I had to kill this dude? Like legitimately going after their life. They don't care. They go under the helmets.
Yeah.
Football is a different thing, but in basketball, it's like they're making like maybe 700,000 on their first like contracts out of high school or out of the first year of college. So they go from not earning a penny to making 700K a year, right?
Yeah.
So they get a cut. So the thing is, they were saying also on the movie, on the documentary about it, that their salary might be 700K, but they're after taxes and whatever the hell they gotta pay, they're taking home like 300K. So they're spending like they make 700K, but they're actually earning less than half.
Yeah.
So when they realize, it's like, wait, I thought my contract was 700K. Where'd the money go, right?
Yeah.
That's also one of the problems. Is like, oh yeah, you're getting paid 10 million a year, but then really they get paid 4. It's like, oh well, I bought a $4 million house. What do you mean? Like I'm only making 4 million this year or something like that, right?
Yeah, and I read like a lot of them will get like they get signed or something, and they get like a 5-year contract, and they get paid like a lot of it right up front.
Yeah,
And
or
that's like
signing bonus.
that's
right?
like 5 years of pay they got all at once, and they spend it like they're gonna
They
be
blow
getting
it.
that every month or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you gotta. That was supposed to last you 5 years. Now you're in trouble.
yeah, exactly. And
But
what
I
was
mean,
the
even
there was-
then, it's still it's basic math. Like, even if you've never had a job before, if someone says like, "I'm giving you this money for the next 5 years," like, I don't know, it's not hard
you
to
just
be
divide
like,
it.
Yeah, right. It's not hard to be like, okay, how many months are there in the next 5 years?
Yeah, exactly. 60.
So
like it's not that hard.
So I don't. Every now and then, I think like arrogantly, like, well, if I won the lottery, I would be able to handle it.
Right.
Like, I'm the exception. I wouldn't. go
It
crazy,
always is like that.
Right.
But I mean, I do feel like that though. Funny enough, maybe I'm part of the problem. I don't know. But it just for my habit spending, it's like I'm surviving on like 25K a year, right? Even though my salary is way more than that, my actual earnings is 25K. Let's say, just for rounding purposes.
Yep.
If I had $1 million in a bag and someone gives me this, it's like this. I already paid taxes on it. This is $1 million. That's 20 years of my life, basically. In like, how could I fuck it up? There's no way.
Would you quit
Just-
your job?
No, because the benefits. But it's like, I would talk to the company and be like, yo, just let me be on retainer. Like, don't pay me $1 a year. Just let me keep my health insurance or something.
I don't think they would do that.
I mean, you're right. They probably wouldn't. But I mean, when you have $1 million, health expenses can be a lot. So I don't think I would quit my job right away. But
Yeah.
just think about it. Just think about it. $1 million, right? I buy my house. I have 800,000 left.
Yeah.
I buy a brand new car that's like 30K or something. I would probably buy a Tesla just out of greed, but just be like the 30K model, like
So
not
cheap
the
one?
the cheap one, not the most expensive one. Or my dream car, Ford GT Mustang. Fine. So 30K maybe tops. I don't think I would spend more than 30K in a car. So then I have like 770K. What why would I without having to pay rent? That would be crazy. I could keep my job and just have that money work for me, go on any trip that I want. Like, it would be ridiculous. I mean, I don't know I don't know if I would quit my job. That's a good question.
I don't think I'd quit my job for $1 million. It sounds like a lot, but it's not what it used to be. Like,
Yeah, definitely not.
the problem is like health insurance and stuff. Like, that's gonna
It-
be like $500 a month or something. I don't know.
yeah, you have to pay, right? Like when
Yeah.
you don't have when you don't have insurance, you have to pay a fee too.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't think I would quit my job for $1 million, but imagine how easy it would be. Like,
Yeah, I mean,
it's 20 years worth of my.
It would be a crazy like jump start or something. Like,
It would just put everything at ease, dude. Like, think about it. Even if someone said, if I won enough money just to buy my house, that would be I would be earning twice as much as I do now. Just because out of those 25K, like half of it goes to my paying that mortgage. So if someone just said, here's 200K in cash, all the taxes are paid off, you can buy your house with that, I would just buy my house right off. And I can just live here and not pay rent. You just make double the money, basically. It would be insane. You just have so much money laying around. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it would be a huge boost.
Yeah, it would be incredible. And I do think like that. It's like, I don't think you can. I mean, $1 million probably burns faster than you would think. Like it's like when you suddenly get your tax return and you suddenly have a lot of money, and then the next day it's like gone.
Yeah.
I feel like $1 million would be gone just like that.
Yeah.
$1 million and you have no repercussions spending it, you probably do a lot of stupid shit just because you can't.
Even a car, $100,000 car is not that. I mean, that's insane. Like, I wouldn't spend $100,000 for a car
Right.
out of my paycheck, but like $100,000 car is not that strange. Like, you drive down the highway, you see a bunch of them.
Yeah.
So like people, you buy a car like that, that's 10% of your money gone already.
Yep. But see, that's the thing. People would spend their money on dumb things.
Yeah.
Like, maybe I wouldn't care so much about a car, but I'm sure that I would. I would buy something that would be really, really stupid. Maybe I would buy like a $10,000 computer. Like, who needs that? Nobody needs that much.
Would you start flying business class?
To
To Japan, it's like
There's no way.
$4,000.
Really? Holy fuck, that's a
Yeah, I
lot.
looked it up once. It's pretty expensive.
I mean, I definitely would. If I had $1 million just to burn, I definitely would fly business class everywhere. Just because flying coach is so bad.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
mean,
that's gonna add up. Say you take
Def-
5 trips a year, right? At 4K.
That's a lot.
Like, that's a lot of money.
Yeah, but that's a lot of trips too.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, let's see, but I would go every year if I had that much money. I mean, the thing is, dude, you could do so much if you really think about it. Like, okay, not 1 million is not enough for everything. It doesn't make everything better, right?
Yeah.
But let's talk about the Mega Millions prize pool, like 200 fucking million or something.
Yeah, I
stupid
mean,
like
at that point, you can pretty much do what you want.
Just think about it. You buy a house wherever you want in the U.S.
Yeah.
Just don't go stupid. Like, don't buy a fucking 20-bedroom house because nobody needs that. Just buy your house. Buy a house wherever you like to travel to. Could you not like just buy a jet or something,
I
like
mean,
a private plane?
That would be how you get into trouble, is you start buying like private jets or private yachts. But
Oh, you think so?
yeah, if you didn't do that though, like 200 million, if you just do basic investing, you're making 8 million a year just doing nothing. Like, you can spend 8 million a year and not subtract from your like wealth. So
let's see, 8 million a year. How much per month is that?
I mean, at 200 million, you could probably spend 12 million a year and not use it all up.
Okay,
You'd be
wait, this
going-
can't be right, dude.
You'd be going
you had-
down, but
If you had 200 million and you invested on like a safe
Yeah.
4%,
Yeah.
You would make 666,000 a month.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like
That's ridiculous.
that.
What the
And
fuck?
so people who are going broke are like spending so much more than that. That like to spend it all down, it's like swimming upstream or something. Because
It's
like
ridiculous.
your money is making money, so they're spending it way faster than that per month in order to spend all of it.
That's crazy. I mean, yeah, that can't be. I mean, if you win like the highest or the jackpot
Yeah.
and you go broke, you fucked up really bad. There's no excuse. I mean,
Yep.
that is crazy. Imagine that you just put your money in. I'm sure there's plenty of banks who would gladly borrow your money like that,
Oh,
that
yeah.
much money,
It would be
and
no
they give
problem.
you that 4% return.
Yeah.
Even if you had like 3%, that's just that would be insane. How much money that would be.
Right.
But I mean, with okay, maybe you're right. Maybe why would you need a private jet? Why don't you just buy first class on any plane that you fucking want instead of owning a fucking private jet? Like it makes no sense to own a jet and have to pay for storage and maintenance when you can just buy a first class seat for 4K.
The only advantage is that it's a private jet. Like there's no one else on it.
Who
But
cares?
there's
dude?
no
Honestly.
way that's worth millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Yeah, there's no way that's worth it. I mean, the first thing I thought was you can just go with the squad. Just so you know, everybody can sit in, and then you go whenever you want. Like literally, you pick the flight, right? There's no reason not. Like that's the only thing I thought. And then you could lease it to NBA, but whatever NBA teams. Lease it to
Maybe
the
that's how people go broke though, is they just get that squad and the whole squad is rolling in like high end
And-
stuff.
and they're spotting everyone.
Yeah, like they've got like 20 people and they all have that $100,000 car.
Dude, but think about it. I would probably do that though.
Yeah.
If you think about it, if I lived in LA with everyone
Yeah.
and I suddenly won the fucking lottery, everybody around me would be rolling for sure, guaranteed. there's no reason for. I mean, it would be.
You know how much of a hassle that would be? I mean, you'd have to your squad would have to be like constantly pushing other people away though, because like every time you post something on Facebook, everybody who knows somebody who knows somebody who knows you is going to be putting their hand out,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
especially because they know you hooked people up.
Yeah, exactly. And people were saying on the documentary about how people go broke. It's like you're suddenly a superstar and you make money. It's now everybody's cousin needs some money.
Yep.
So it's like they don't even need to know you, but they just be like, hey, your cousin, or I'm your cousin's friend from high school, and my dad's sick, I need money, and then you just giving out like $2,000, $3,000, $500 to everybody. Then at the end of the year, you're freaking broke,
Yep.
Yeah, for sure. I would probably fuck that up a lot. I mean, yeah, I would probably not be very conscious with my money around my friends. Like, it's just like, you just don't want them to go broke or having any type of economical problem. It's like, yeah, if I'm swimming in money, it would be really stupid for a close friend of yours to be like, yeah, I need some money.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, if you have so much that you can just give it out, right? But that's also how it's a bad thing. So yeah, it's a vicious circle, man.
Yeah, I think I would try it though. Like, it seems tough. You'd probably screw it up, but if I had the opportunity, I'd probably give it a shot.
I mean, yeah, if someone was like, hey, here's 200 million in a social experiment, I'd be like, hell yeah, I'm all over that.
It's just a social experiment, bro.
Yeah, it's just a prank.
It's just a prank, bro. Like,
Yeah, you end up buying everything for everyone, and then they were like, yeah, it's just a prank. Now you owe us back everything you
those are
spent.
the worst. Have you seen those? Like, I've never seen one in person, but you see the videos on YouTube where it's like a prank lottery ticket.
Oh,
And
hell no,
It
dude.
like you scratch it off and it says you won like $10 million, and then if you flip it over, it says, just kidding, it's a prank. Like,
Nah,
that is the worst prank I've ever heard of.
that's
Like,
just too messed up, dude.
what is the point? Like,
I
no
mean,
one is going to enjoy that,
that would just crush your soul.
right?
If you for a minute thought that all your problems could just go away, and then suddenly it's like, no, just a prank. It's like, oh my god,
And
you
not
could
only
want to
that,
strangle that person.
but like half the time, people, it'll be like someone at an office or something, right? Or at work, and they think they won it, so they just tell everybody off, and they're like swearing at the boss or something, you know? And then like, I'm out of here, like,
Yeah,
suckers,
finally,
and
tell
then
you
they
how
find
stupid you
out,
are.
yeah, like, blah blah blah. They go off on, 'em, and then like, it's just a prank, and like now they're done.
Already burn all your bridges.
Yeah. Not only did they not win the money, but they just screwed up everything.
Yeah. It's funny because there's an episode in The Office, right? The warehouse guys always pull their money to play the lottery, and one of the warehouse guys gets promoted like a couple months before that. So he's working upstairs now. It's no longer in the warehouse, so he doesn't participate in the pool. And then they win without him, right? Because he was always in the pool, but then he moves up, and then they win the lottery without him. So they just go and then they tell everybody, screw you, I quit. They go upstairs, and the entire warehouse quits because like everybody wins like $1 million plus, right? And he tells them, so he's pissed the entire day. He's like, everyone is like doing what they wanted, their dream or whatever, and then he's like just bitter. He wants to be miserable because he didn't win. So it's kind of like, shit. Where was I going with this? Man, I'm just so. I don't know where I was going with that, but I love The Office. Great show, great show.
That's great. Well, maybe we should call it an episode.
All right.
50 minutes in, it's like 10 times longer than most of our episodes.
I mean, that was a long talk about a lot of different
A lot
stuff.
of random shit. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Well, hey, that was cool.